everybody. Welcome to the Instagram and TikTok TTRPG panel. Thank you so much for being here. This is brought to you by Kobold Press. I'm Dot, the Twitch producer for Kobold Press, and I am honored to be on the stage with these three amazing folk. I'm going to give them a chance to introduce themselves. Let's just go straight down the line.
Hey, y'all. My name is Danny. You can find me all over the internet at Brutal Dan, and I'm also the community manager for Roll20.
Hi, my name is Harley. You can find me everywhere at Harley Hero, and I am a content creator, cosplayer. I do all sorts of really cool things on the internet.
And hi, I'm Dylan, or Super Dylan everywhere on the internet. I'm a gaming creator and entertainer on TikTok, Twitter, and other places.
Cool. Well, they're all here because they have some kind of amazing presence on one of the two platforms that this panel is named after. And I think one of the most important questions I can ask you is, how did you get started? How did you get started on Instagram and or TikTok, whatever your preferred platform is? No order, yeah. Yeah, no order. You just answer that one.
On TikTok, I was doing the awkward dances because we were stuck in a panini.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, you know what? This actually looks fun. And a lot of the TikTok content is easily consumable. So I was like, I'll do it. And all of a sudden, things just go viral or blow up, and I start making more niche content. And that's kind of where I ended up.
Yeah, I think the pandemic changed us all in many ways. And I was like, well, I could post little videos. This seems pretty easy, which is how I got started on TikTok. I have not done any of the dances, though. Thank God. Thank God. I have not gotten there yet, but who knows?
They'll get you.
Yeah, one day.
I started, before the pandemic happened, I started making TikToks, and I started absolutely with zero intention of using it as a kind of platform in the same way that I do maybe on Twitter. I started using TikTok as a medium rather than a platform because I don't like its algorithm very much.
Oh.
Same.
Oh, maybe, okay, new question. Talk about the algorithm. No.
Oh, God.
So I know that when it comes in, to starting, there can be probably a lot of imposter syndrome, like where and how. Any tips for just like doing the thing?
Yeah, totally. TikTok as a medium, I can't speak to Instagram very much, but TikTok as a medium is super casual to the point of performing casualness. Like many people will make videos that intentionally look like they were casual, but absolutely took them hours to make. So allowing yourself to make these videos in a low stakes way is actually better for yourself. Putting less effort into them, I think is better. Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, I would say that like being on TikTok is kind of made me realize that we're all really weird and we like that, and we're all, I mean, the thing, like we can all relate to certain experiences, and so honestly the more unique you are, the more like you lean into the things that make you who you are. Surprisingly, people relate to that more, and that's kind of how I felt being on TikTok, like scrolling, being like, oh my God, I find that hilarious. Who knew that people had my same kind of humor and things like that? And like, you just feel, it kind of makes you feel like, wow, I'm maybe not as weird, or there are other weird people out there like me. So just kind of leaning into who you are and your humor, you will find people that like that.
That I've never had an original thought.
I mean, literally, it's just the realization, like, everybody has lived this exact same experience. Okay, cool. You know?
What was the question? I'm just like listening to their stories. I'm like,
aren't they yeah, no, actually, well, this is leads into one of the questions I wanted to ask, which is, how important is it to create your content based on the platform, right? Now that Instagram is merging certain ways and TikTok's merging other ways, and they're all getting similar aspects to them, how do you differentiate, and is it important to differentiate?
I think I formulated my thoughts while you were
Oh,
saying.
perfect. Okay, good. Take it away.
So that's actually a good segue. So TikTok is all about authenticity. You can use it as it doesn't have to be a platform that's curated like Instagram. People like seeing a feed that has maybe a color story or highly edited photos and stuff. With TikTok, you can film straight from your phone. Like, all of my TikToks are filmed straight from my phone. I don't need any fancy webcam or editing software. And I think that's kind of where you can repurpose the TikTok later on Instagram and on Twitter, put it on Pinterest, wherever you want to. But it's a great way to start creating video content because they have a lot of built-in editing software. And I think that's where it's amazing, where you can have filters and easy ways to edit sound and the length of the video. So it's one of those things where they kind of put everything there for you, and you might just have to go in there and discover it a little bit.
Yeah, I super agree with that. I feel like making content on TikTok is a little, I think about it differently than making content for like Instagram or Twitter. Because kind of like what you were saying, I feel like for Instagram it is a little bit more, people like more curated, like seeing your feed and everything like that. Well, TikTok, very rarely are you going to someone's profile. Most of the time you're scrolling through your For You page, so it's not like you have to like really curate your videos in a certain way. It's nice to have a niche always, so people know what to expect. But I feel like, yeah, TikTok is just so much more casual. And it's nice because you can kind of share your TikToks everywhere. Once you make a TikTok, you can put it on Instagram, because Instagram is really pushing Reels right now. So your post will do a lot better if it's a Reel than a post on Instagram. And on Twitter, it's easy to share your TikTok. So I feel like TikTok is kind of an easy way to put things out into other platforms.
Yeah, that's pretty much exclusively what I do. I don't really use TikTok for TikTok. I use TikTok to make the videos, and then I share them elsewhere, and then they do well elsewhere. People who are not on TikTok recognize my TikToks more than people who are on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, and to add, there was a TikTok that I saw that a creator, a marketing person was explaining that over the panini that we've been living in, it's one of those spaces where we're kind of tired of like the influencer culture where everything looks perfect, and people utilize TikTok to kind of have like an inside scoop of like, what are these people actually like? So you don't have to be perfect. Anybody can go viral on TikTok. It doesn't matter if you have 2 followers or 2 million followers. The algorithm will push whatever you like, whatever they think is going to keep people's attention. So that's a really cool part of TikTok, where it's just like low barrier of entry. Yeah.
It's also a downside to TikTok as well, because you can have several thousand followers, 100,000 followers, and post videos that get 34 views. There's kind of no law in TikTok. It's a lawless land.
Okay, so this I think is the next interesting question I want to ask, which is maybe a controversial one. What makes great content? What makes great content for TikTok or Insta?
Ooh.
I would just say content that's fun, like content that evokes an emotion, whether like you're laughing at it, it makes you angry, so you want to comment on it, or it makes you sad or think about something that evokes emotion. Storytelling is also good content, especially for TikTok. If you just ask a question, people will respond to it. They'll let you know their opinion, and then you can have a back and forth with video replies or whatever. So.
I think using, it's visual, right? So anything that's visually exciting, anything that, there are longer videos now, 60-second, 3-minute, and everything like that, but it's like really like 15-second videos, right? So you got to catch people's attention quick. So if you're gonna tell a story, you got to talk fast. If you're doing a transition video, you got to keep people's attention. So I think that's kind of what makes great content, is whether it's being really funny or being relatable or being cute, whatever it is, you got to like kind of grab people's attention really fast, because videos are fast and people swipe very fast. So
yeah, if you don't lead your point in like the first 4 seconds, people are swiping, and by people I mean me. But also, I think with TikTok, it's also about consistency. Like on my Twitter, I can post whatever I want about anything. If I go off-brand on TikTok and do something different, I often see a dip in views. I think that your audience gets very predicted by the algorithm on TikTok, and if you change up too much, I think that it dislikes that. So consistency is preferred on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what then does the commitment look like? Like, how do you maintain that level of consistency? What does a day making a TikTok require?
Batch filming is very helpful, where you just film a whole bunch of content and you just leave it in your draft so you can come back to it when you have the
Oh.
capacity to do it. You can change up your clothes, but again, TikTok is like, some people do, like they'll have different outfits and stuff planned, but if you set aside an hour and you're making 60-second videos or 30-second videos, you can crank out 20 to 40 pieces of content that's coming out whenever you want to post it, so.
I mean, anytime I get cute, I'm like, okay, I gotta film some TikTok. I'm gonna film like 8 TikToks. I look good today, kind of thing. You know? So definitely. What I do is I scroll, and I listen for sounds that I can apply to my niche, which is usually I make D&D, TTRPG related content. So I'll listen for sounds, and I'm like, oh, I can kind of make that niche. And then I'll save it, and then I'll go through my favorited videos, my saved videos, and then I'll be like, okay, today I can make something with that sound. So that's usually what I do. So, and when I look cute, obviously.
I don't do a good job at any of those things. Do what they say.
It's hard to stay consistent.
Yeah, no,
to be
I
honest.
don't do it. I know that I should, but I don't. So do that.
You know what? That's a nice thing about TikTok, though. The algorithm is crazy. I still haven't figured it out, so don't ask me about that. But literally, you could like post once, and your video could just like, it really is a rewarding platform, because I don't know why sometimes videos go viral and why they don't, but when it does, it goes quick, and you just get those views and you get those followers, and it's like, wow, you know. And it's kind of like being consistent helps, but what really pushes videos is kind of interesting. But it's very rewarding when it happens, so.
Yeah.
All right. So when you got to start building all of this content, whether you're doing it consistently or whether you're doing it, you know, when you look cute, where do you start? What are your inspiration points? You said you kind of find sound clips and you like save them and come back to them. What else inspires, say, D&D related content?
Me getting into the tabletop RPG space, D&D space, I actually just asked a lot of questions of like, who's your favorite character that you've ever created, or what's the funniest thing a DM's ever done to you, or something like that. And it's just a great way to start the conversation. I'm actually the opposite of Dylan in the fact that like my content is everywhere. Like you'll find like fitness stuff and then like super emotional like things about my childhood trauma to like D&D and board game content. And it's a great way to, I guess, cross-pollinate your platforms, because someone might find you like through trauma TikTok, and they're like, oh, I play D&D because of that, and that's kind of how I met. So.
Yeah, like I said, I just find sounds that I go kind of based off of trends, because on TikTok you'll notice like people will do the same kind of transition sounds or whatever, and then I just say, huh. I'm very, when I, like in regards to D&D and tabletop, I like characters, I like being creative, I like creating characters, so I always think, okay, well, how can I like make this interesting? And I like to dress up, I'm a cosplayer, so how can I, you know, kind of incorporate that into this transition and make it like a character I have, or things like that. So kind of just like bring the kind of the costumes and the fantasy element to it. So that's kind of what I do.
I like to do little skits.
You can talk to yourself?
I like to talk to myself. I like to put a hat on one character and the other character doesn't have a hat. It's fun.
I could not have planned for a better answer to that question. So what then of all of your content or all of your posting are you most proud of? Like what's your most proud post?
Whoa.
Sweetie, the rapper R&B star, retweeted one of my TikToks because someone posted a TikTok of saying like, we love our Asian kings. And I'm like, oh, I'm an Asian king. And then I posted something and then she saw it. So
Yes.
that was cool.
That's cool. That's
I
awesome.
got retweeted.
That's
so.
awesome.
The two middle-aged white guys agree with each other about Dungeons and Dragons series that I made it's very long. You have to say the whole thing every time. That series has simultaneously like been one of my most popular on both TikTok and wherever I repost it, and I like it a lot. I like it a lot because a lot of people have reached out to me to echo that, like, they're frustrated that those are sort of like the biggest names in D&D YouTubing, happen to be accounts like that. And poking fun at it in kind of a silly way was very cathartic. So that's nice for people to have reached out about that. Also, that people have tagged accounts they think I'm referencing in that. And I actually made a new friend that way who somebody had tagged to think that they were a person I was making fun of. And we're now friends for this. So I think overall that's my pride right there.
Nice.
My most viewed video, and the one that I have pinned on my page, is a joke that a little mature here, but you know the Venn diagram of nerds and people who are into kink is really a circle. that is my most viewed TikTok. Yep. That's all I'll say about it.
So when you're posting content and you're wanting to do it to maybe impact whatever your presence is as a freelance person or in this industry, how do you decide what's working and what's not? Is it just about viewership? Because you said sometimes you do the repeat exact same way and you only get 32 versus a few thousand, right? So where do you decide when it's worth your time, what's working, what's not working?
Do it for yourself and like what you actually like, because the algorithm is gonna algorithm, and just post what you actually enjoy. There are people I know, I am friendly with somebody who really digs into the algorithm, and they suggest that if you're really trying to grow, you delete the videos that fail. For me, I kind of just feel like if you liked it and you liked that you made it and you thought it was good, just leave it. Just keep posting what you like and your people will find you.
Yeah, I say, I mean, if it sounds fun and like you have a good idea, do it. Just, I mean, personally, like I said, I'll see videos or trends or sounds that I'm like, I'm inspired by that. I want to do it. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. I leave it up because I want people to know me. And if I only have like one good video, people, okay, they know one good video, but they're not getting to know me as a creator or as a person. And so I make things that inspire me and that are interesting to me and I think that are funny. And then when they hit, it's great. And when they don't, I'm like, well, at least I'm trying, so.
Yeah. It's a very cliche answer, but just have fun on TikTok. TikTok's a place where you can try a whole bunch of different things and there's not any like huge impact to failing or having low views. And to Dylan's point, if you don't delete something, it might go viral in like 3 months and you're just like, why am I getting all these new followers? And then Himbo TikTok just went viral for whatever reason, and then your old video gets kicked up. I speak from experience.
Yeah, that can
Himbo
happen.
TikTok is great.
So when it comes to trends, there's the trends on two sides of the line, right? There's the trends that are trending by algorithm or by whatever popular culture thing, but there's also the trend of these platforms constantly changing, right? Adding new things. We just talked about Instagram has added Reels as an option. How do you keep up with those kinds of trends, the ones that are constantly evolving on the platform itself?
I get super excited about accessibility on the platform.
Cool.
So TikTok has introduced speech to text, captioning, auto captioning has been a huge thing. They also have photosensitivity warnings now if your video has any sort of flashing lights. So it's super exciting to see those types of trends pop up so that your video content is more accessible to a wider range of audiences.
You just have to spend time on the app, and it takes time. And I try to be present, I try to be there, but a lot of what I do is scrolling on the app and seeing what other people are doing. And and as you create content, you'll see all these cool things that they're adding. But yeah, honestly, it's just adding to the algorithm, engaging with other people's content, being on the app. So
Yeah, it can feel a little bit like a race, a little bit like you're always one step behind because you finally find your footing on TikTok and then Instagram comes out with Reels and they want you to do that. And Or you're making TikTok and you think you found your niche, and then all of a sudden your videos aren't getting views anymore, and you have to like find some way to kick things up. I think just stay where you feel comfortable, go at your own pace, and please try not to search for views by being a negative person for attention. It is really easy to get trapped there, and you will never escape, and you will be the negative person.
Nice. All right. We're going to take one last question on my end, but we are going to open up the floor for all of you to ask questions. There are 2 mics here in the aisle. There's one, I believe. No, there's 1 mic now here in the aisle. Thank you very much. Feel free to line up 6 feet. Please don't touch it. Mask on. And we'll start taking questions here in just a minute if you would like to contribute. So, I'm sure you all have what I would call a trade secret, meaning like your mixture of filter A plus B and this thing and that thing. Without giving too much away, do you have like your favorite setup? Like, is it a tag? Is it a focus? Is it a filter? What is it that gives your vibe, your feel to your content?
I make content that I think is cringy because it gets me out of that comfort zone of always trying to look a certain way on TikTok. So a lot of my TikTok, if I were to show it to my mom, she would probably be like, what is this? Like, why are you doing this on the internet for people to see? But like, I got stopped in the convention center of someone saying like, oh, I saw a TikTok of yours about body positivity. So you like never know who you can reach. Even if you feel like it's cringy or people are making fun of a certain type of content or trend, you never know who it'll affect. So cringy TikToks is my.
It's like your go-to. That's your vibe when you're like, when you're making it happen. You're like, how cringe can I make
it? Or get comfortable with being cringy.
I love that.
See, I'm opposite. I try to be very cute. I'm like, just like what I said, when I feel cute, I make TikToks. Yeah, I mean, also, I mean, if you want a little secret, sometimes if you misspell something in a caption, people will like comment on your videos.
I once spelled.
And then that kind of drives the algorithm.
I once spelled forest like Forrest Gump when it was supposed to be like a forest in the woods. I'm still getting comments. I know I spelt it wrong.
Hey, but you know, it drives, I mean, it gets people to interact with your video. Also, sometimes putting long sentences of text, so they have to watch the video over and over again. Those are stuff.
Oh, that's it. That's learning from the best up here, y'all.
Yeah, that actually, so I made a TikTok of me talking into the mirror in my bathroom, and I just bought a new house, and all the locks had been changed, and I hadn't taken the keys out of my bathroom door, and all the comments were about like, why do you have keys to your bathroom door? And they were like going conspiracy theory into,
Danny, why?
into this.
Why do you have keys?
Well, they changed the locks and they left them in there, and I haven't taken them out.
Oh.
That was it. But people were like, what are you doing in there with keys? And I was like, I don't know. But again, it pushed it out to people, and then people found my content through, I guess, keys in
the bathroom door?
Yeah.
There you go. The algorithm doesn't really
Which
matter.
I guess I should put it into context. You can put little Easter eggs or something weird in your videos so people ask questions about something, whether it's misspelling a word, you do a quick transition and you're wearing a different hat or a different shirt, and people will comment on that type of stuff.
Yeah, or hold something gigantic in the bathroom. That's a very popular thing to do. It's holding like a statue or something. I think that if I have a signature, my signature is just having fun eye makeup on. And everybody has opinions about it. Some of them not nice. But you still commented, and now my video's getting more views. Fooled you.
Sometimes it's so hard because you're like, oh, well, that wasn't very nice. But then you have to be like, oh, wait, they're helping me. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, you know?
Yeah.
You have to like remind yourself, like, well, you think that you're being mean, but you're really just pushing this along, so.
Love it. All right, let's grab our first question.
Hi guys, my name is Miranda, she, her pronouns. I recently got promoted to a management position at a small local game store where I work. Woo-hoo. And my boss has been encouraging me to start a store TikTok account. I have a concern though, because my sense of humor tends to lean more towards dropping F-bombs and being a little inappropriate, but the store is called Family Fun Hobbies. So I was wondering if you guys could give me some advice on how to be funny and engaging without being inappropriate.
Oof. That's a great question.
So wholesome humor is fun, but also you can, you ever watch a kids movie as an adult and go, that's not for the kids. That joke was for me. You could be a little subtle with your potty humor and kind of codify it so it's a little bit masked. And also for game stores, I'm loving game store accounts on TikTok and game production company accounts on TikTok. I think just showing your process, not necessarily all about the goofs. People are really into that, like into seeing like some of the stuff that you do. I don't know. Authenticity is really appreciated, not just by me, but I think by a lot of people on the platform.
Yeah, I would say, just really quick to add to that. So you're going to want to have a business account for the store. Okay, and the business account is run a little bit differently than a personal account on TikTok. You only have access to certain sounds because of like licensing reasons. So you're not going to have access to all the sounds that normal TikTokers have, like for commercial reasons, right? So I think it is a little bit more tame in regards to businesses because, like I said, you just don't have access to all the different sounds. So I mean, it kind of forces you to be creative because you don't have access to everything. But yeah, I think like just kind of seeing what there is available might be good in regards to like a business account versus a personal account.
Yeah. What I do, I run Roll20's TikTok account as well as my TikTok account, and they're completely different. If you slip up, of course you can re-record, but you can utilize that voice to text, text on screen, if you don't feel comfortable talking and just kind of focusing on the product. But you should definitely talk to maybe the store owner and talk about brand voice and learn more about what type of content that they want to push forward.
Let's grab another one.
Hi. I have had a bit of success on TikTok alone, and I'm thinking of branching out to other platforms. The watermark that when you record it on TikTok, now you had said you just shoot it on TikTok and then share it to others. Do you find the watermark to be an issue? Did I miss something, and is there a way to remove the watermark? And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I was worried about that, like posting TikToks to Reels or to Twitter that people would, that either the other sites I was posting to would take them down for that. That has not been an issue for me. I know it kind of annoys me a little bit to see it, but so far it has not had an impact. What a lot of people do who don't want it, you can just film the TikTok in your regular camera, and then you have two versions of it, that don't have the watermark. But I personally, I haven't had an issue with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a way to remove it unless you record a sound outside or record it outside of the app, like she was saying. You have to be careful though, because the reason why the watermark is important is like we were talking about, like licensing. So like the music that you can use on TikTok is there's like a lot of like copyright issues with that. A lot of times you can't use that outside of TikTok because TikTok has an agreement with the artist or whatever it is that you can use 60 seconds, 45 seconds of that sound. So that's why the watermark is important, because a lot of times your videos won't get taken down elsewhere because it's, oh, you made it on TikTok where you have permission to use that sound. So.
Yeah, there's a way for you to, before you post your TikTok, I can show you after this panel.
I was going to say, I just watched you do this.
Yeah, so before you post it, if you go to is this okay to show?
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I don't know
yeah.
This would be, if you go to that select cover at the very top and you open it, you can click this little box. There's like 4 corners of the box. If you open that up, it'll give you a full form preview of your video without like your username or anything, and you can screen record that, and then you have that screen recorded. And then once you post it, you can always have the TikTok with your watermark on it. I personally leave it on there for Twitter so people know it's me. But otherwise, yeah, I can show you more.
That's awesome. Thank you. And by the way, it is a little weird that you have a key lock to your bathroom.
It is weird. I admit it's weird, but The conspiracy theories are very weird.
All right, I after this, I would like to see that if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next question.
No more questions about keys in my bathroom.
No, so one of the nightmares of making content is it's no longer yours to control once it's out in the world. So have you encountered yourself somewhere you didn't expect to be?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got real quiet.
I've been in group chats of coworkers through my thirst TikToks, which is nice. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good conversation about like, yeah, like this is another side of me. I don't know. I've been reposted on Reddit and stuff on the negative side. So the positive side, is coworkers are talking about me. Reddit can be posted anywhere else, but you can utilize that as another talking point to your own community. You know, so. But yes, once those videos are out there, people can download them. But if that is one of your concerns, you can make your TikTok where people cannot download your stuff. They might screen record it or whatever, but
Yeah.
there are settings for that.
I have had people send me cringe compilations that I am on, and that is fine. I get it. I have also been cross-posted to Reddit and had people screen record me and like put me other places. I think one thing that's interesting about TikTok in particular is the use of sound sharing. You can post a video, and whether or not your video gets popular or not, some people might start using the sound from it to do things you didn't expect.
Oh.
So that is unpredictable and weird, and you also don't get notified when that's happening.
Oof.
So you may not know for a long time that that's happening unless you check. So that's something to be aware of. There's not really a way that I know of that you can stop that. You can't like delete a sound once people start using it. So that's something to just be cognizant of, really.
All right, thank you.
Hello, my name is Eli. I have a question for you. I'm sure you're often asked about channels that are first starting up, any advice for new content creators. But what's some advice that it took until you had grown a little, you kind of hit that mid cap where you feel like you're pushing through, you're gaining popularity. What was any lessons you learned from that point in your trip?
For me, it's of course, social media is a big numbers game, but if you set your goals specifically around followers or things that you can't control, that's kind of where things can get rough. So I always say set SMART goals for yourself content-wise. So you know that you've gained traction, you know that you have a solid community behind you. Then you can start setting SMART goals for yourself like, okay, this content works. And SMART goals, it's an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. So instead of saying, I want to hit 50,000 followers by the end of the year, you can say, I want to make at least 12 pieces of content that I'm proud of by the end of the year, type deal, because you control that compared to you cannot control who clicks follow or not. So setting those goals that are more in your control is super important once you kind of start picking up that traction.
I think for me, it's having to realize it's really easy to get caught up in the numbers, especially when you start like getting the views and everything. And so like, kind of like once you hit popularity or whatever, you get those views or whatever, kind of sitting back and reminding myself, hey, I don't do this for yes, but also like if I focus solely on that, that's gonna make me very unhappy. So I think that's what I've had to realize is kind of sit back and be like, wait, why am I making this? Oh, am I making this for the views? And that's kind of a trap, okay? Because like I said, especially with TikTok, who knows what makes the algorithm do what it does? And so if you're doing it solely for the views and the numbers, whatever, and then it doesn't hit, it hurts. And you're like, well, dang it,
Yeah.
And so like having to sit back and realize, okay, like I'm doing this is exciting, people like what I do, sit back and be, okay, but am I liking what I'm doing? Am I being authentic? Is this who I want to be? Like, is this, with the brand that I want to present to people? And kind of remembering that instead of being like, oh, I'm going to make this video because it's going to get like a ton of views because and then it doesn't, and then you're sad.
Yeah.
So
I think just like with everything, any social media is like this. If you are, unless you are making super polished, paid to promote couples pranking each other content, you are not going to find a lot of success if you are just operating alone and are not engaging with the community around the topics that you like. And TikTok, each niche, just like everywhere else, has a community. You know, there is a tabletop sphere there. There's a comic book sphere there. There's cooking TikTok. There's everything. So find your niche. Don't just post your content. Engage with other people as well.
Awesome answers. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Dave from Tactical Tokens. I have a ton of questions, but I'll just ask the one that I think might provide the most interesting answer.
Great, and if we have extra time, we'd love to hear the rest of it too. Yeah.
I'll get back in line and all that. But you talked about your creative process a bit, like scrolling through sounds on the For You page and whatnot. But how else or what other methods do you use to break through, say, creative dead zones? Or how do you come up with ideas if there are none in the moment?
Be cringy. No, get out of your comfort zone. Try different content. So if you've been going really, really hard on storytelling TikTok and you've been telling all these stories and you're feeling burnt out, take a little break from it. Sit down and write 5 ideas that you feel excited about, that you could try to formulate some sort of new content around it and see what that works. It's not saying that you're going to get rid of your storytelling TikTok, but maybe there's other avenues for you to tell those stories. So just kind of being okay with taking a step away from things that aren't working, being mindful of that burnout feeling, and then give yourself some grace and like have fun and be silly.
I super agree with that, kind of stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit. Like, people do like niche. People do like when you're predictable, so they kind of like when you stick to the same stuff. However, we all have multiple interests, right? We're all multi-dimensional people, and so you make content about D&D. Well, what else do you like? You know, make something about whatever else you're into. And so, and then, like, you see, oh, there are other people that are also into D&D and cosplay or whatever it is, or eating dice. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Don't do that. But so yeah, like, kind of presenting yourself, especially with TikTok. With Instagram, people really want the curated. With TikTok, be as real and as interesting and different as you are, and you will find people who also like, hey, I have those similar interests. Okay. So yeah.
I burnt out and then just didn't post for a year. So do what they said.
Thank you so much.
Also okay, though.
Yeah.
There's one more thing. You can post to friends only or followers, like people that you follow back, like neutrals only on TikTok. So if you're burnt out looking at the numbers all the time, engage with who's already following you and create content with them or ask them for advice too. And that's completely okay. And it feels less stress because you know there's going to be less views because it's not going to be pushed out, and you can see who's actually engaging with you.
Thank you so much.
Great question.
Hi, my name's David. I think you may have started to actually answer my question, but I'll still try to ask it. So, say you make some types of content that go very well together, like you make card games and you write D&D campaigns, but you have another type of content that seems kind of out of left field, like you also write sappy singer-songwriter music. Is there merit to separating those and making, say, a dedicated music Instagram, or is it better to do everything that you do and let that mix be your niche? And does that differ based on the platform, I suppose?
I think on TikTok, you want to keep it all together. It's all going to be you anyway. Like what was brought up earlier by Harley is that people rarely go to your TikTok profile,
Right.
So they don't care if they've landed on your music profile or your other one. Scrolling through, they're going to see your face and go, oh, that's the person who does this, and now they're learning that you do something else also. Keep it all together. Instagram feels like more of a place where you would keep separate ones for different topics or niches that you are into. But Danny maybe could speak to that more.
Yeah, if you can tag yourself if you have 2 separate TikToks. But again, I think I touched on this a little bit earlier in that people value authenticity. So like people want to see the person behind the character that they play on a TTRPG stream, or they want to see just kind of your day-to-day. So if you're passionate about it and you feel like your community wants to see a different side of you, I don't see anything wrong with it. Again, ask your community, post maybe 1 or 2 and see how it does. Ask them, hey, would y'all like me to start a separate music TikTok or Instagram? And then you can tag that as well. So when it comes to a specific brand, I would definitely create different for sure. But as an individual creator, you could probably do it all in one.
See, that's what I was going to say. It's kind of like, what's your goal with it? If your goal is like, I want to be a singer, okay? I really want a record label to pick up my sappy music, then make it separate TikTok and Instagram for that, because you really want people to see that. If you're just creating content and you're like, yeah, I like all sorts of random things, just do you.
Sure.
Because people are going to follow you for you, and they're going to want to see all the different sides of you.
Right.
So.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
Hello. I forgot everything I was going to say.
Hey, that's all right.
Hi, CJ here. I guess, how do you battle kind of like disappointment, or even like not really people seeing your content, or even like, because I feel like there's like the aspect of like, oh, I did this thing, or I worked hard on this, or I really wanted people to see this, and then like an app like TikTok might not show your video anywhere.
Yeah, I get disappointed for sure, especially on TikTok, but everywhere. I get disappointed when, you know, a joke video or a video or a tweet about me being sad gets 2,000, you know, interactions or whatever, and then a post about a game I wrote that I'm really excited about gets like no views or whatever. You know, you get disappointed about things. I think one thing that always gives me a little bit of catharsis and reassurance is that I see content from creators 10 times my size also struggling with those same things, and I do not think it is about us. I think that TikTok just has a really unpredictable algorithm, a really inconsistent one, and it's very much driven on getting fast clicks and interactions, and we've all seen what like the top 1% of TikTok content is. It's not great. So take some solace in the fact that it's happening to everybody. It does not mean that you did a bad job at what you made, and what you made just may not be getting seen by the right people.
Yeah, it really sucks, especially when you put a lot of time into a video. I'm a cosplayer. I do a lot of Catwoman content. And it really sucks when you get into the suit and you've made it and you made the goggles and you put a lot of time and energy into these things that you're making, and you plan out your TikTok and then it's like 100 views and you're like, dang it, you know? It really does suck, but I think, honestly what I do is I take a break from it. I'm like, okay, I need a day because I'm getting like wrapped up in like what others are thinking of my content, and like, oh, it must not be good because people aren't seeing it, which isn't true. So usually I'm like, I'll take a few hours, I'll take a day, and then I'll be like, you know what, I've got a good idea now, and I'll go at it again. So I think honestly taking some time to be like, getting away from like all the everything, especially the numbers and whatever, is healthy. So, yeah.
I would ask where the source of the disappointment is coming from. If it's views, yeah, step away from it. But is it like, why are you feeling disappointed in the moment? Was it because you did put in all this hard work and you don't feel the payoff? And then try to tackle it from that, because you can save that content and repost it. Maybe it was a bad time, maybe the algorithm was just against you, but you can still be excited about your content. You can still look back at it and be proud of it, and then tackle that feeling of disappointment. Like, was it just you didn't get that insta hit of dopamine because you didn't get 100 likes immediately, and break it down from there.
Yeah, and there is an unspoken rule. If you see people reposting videos that you already saw, you like it and you scroll past, you don't say anything. It's okay.
It's okay. Yes, it's okay. Nice. Thank you.
Hi, I'm AJ. As content creators, when you become known as for like certain topics and certain communities, your followers and people that know you start pointing you towards issues and discussions that they kind of expect you to say something about. How do you handle those kinds of interactions with the community?
You have to set those boundaries immediately, especially, it might be something, if you already have a super large following, it might be a little bit harder and you might get some kickback, but we are all human. We can't tackle every single issue. I would still be grateful that people are bringing things to my attention. You can be honest, hey, this is not in my bandwidth right now. I appreciate it, I see it, but you cannot speak on every single topic that comes up that is affecting people. So you're gonna have to kind of tackle that with your own mental health, because that stuff, especially when we're talking about marginalized communities and things that are going on in there, it can be like people look at you and they're like, why are they not talking about it? Like, does that mean they don't care? No, it doesn't mean that I don't care. It's because I have other things going on. And if you set those boundaries and you just kind of set that transparency, I think that's very important, especially early on if you're able to do that. And again, we talk a lot about parasocial relationships, and people might think you're way more buddy-buddy, and they start talking, hey, this person is doing this to that person, and you're following this person. You can't, you can't get caught up in that miasma of stuff.
Yeah, I am someone who talks a lot about issues within my niche interests. I think a lot, or I do bring those things up on my own. When people are coming to you and bringing things to your attention, that is one thing. That is always good. It's a kind thing to do, to bring something to my attention. If you're messaging me and demanding that I attack an issue, or in many cases, a single person, that means that I now have to dig into that subject, right? Like, if you're telling me that so-and-so is problematic and you need me to call it out, I can't just take your word for it. I have to go and look into these things, which, if you're any kind of marginalized identity and you are being asked to speak out on these things, that means they are asking you to, in some cases, re-traumatize yourself in order to find out what's going on, put yourself in the line of fire when you do call it out, because people are going to retaliate and they're going to come after you. So that's a decision that can't be made very lightly. It can't just be a thing that you always do. You're gonna really mentally deteriorate. So you have to have a set boundary for yourself, and you have to know what's okay and what's not. And people can't expect you to be at their beck and call to call out certain things. You just can't.
Yeah, and personally for me, and I totally agree 100%, especially with setting boundaries. I feel like personally with a lot of issues, I just may not be qualified to talk about them. I just may not have the experience or education or whatever. So I will reference people to other creators. Be like, hey, you know what? They know a lot more about this than I do. So I would check them out, and and I try to, there are people that are making content and talking about these things that are really putting a lot of time and effort into doing so. So I like to reference those creators and have them, that's what they're doing. That's what they're talking about. And so really kind of get them that reach that they're looking for. And if people are looking for that, then hey, there are creators that do that. So.
Great.
Hello. First off, thanks for doing this. This has been a great amount of information you guys have been giving us, so it's awesome. The question is that, well, first off, I'm a 3D artist. I 3D model, 3D printable D&D minis. And I live stream my modeling rather casually. I understand that TikTok you can do live streams now from OBS. Is that something you think would gain traction on TikTok? People seeing an artist make art as it happens? Like, is that something that would be popular, or I don't know?
I would say yeah. TikTok loves when you do lives. They're constantly if you're like on TikTok and you're a creator, like they're constantly being like, you haven't gone live in a while, you should go live, things like that. And the more that you do lives, the more that your followers, I mean, they'll hop on. I mean, they might not stay on the whole time, but I would say it's a great idea. And it might push your other content more. So yeah, I would say do it.
Yeah, I found that if you live stream art, people just like seeing art as it's created. Here's the thing though, my live streams is an entire artistic process that takes hours. So like it could be an entire workday, 8 hours of streaming. Is that still something that would gain traction? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. People, so with lives on TikTok, I've noticed people like relaxing stuff a lot. So this sounds like literally right up your alley. Have a little music and you've got like the perfect live. People also will join and come back. They'll join for a while, go back to scrolling, and then come back to you. It's a little bit different than going live on Twitch that I've noticed. People don't necessarily stay the whole time, but they do keep coming. Yeah, no, I highly recommend it for exactly what you just described. Feels perfect for that.
Especially because there's like a lot of viewers that you don't realize that are like different time zones and stuff. And so it's actually really nice, I feel like, for a lot of people who are like, oh, hey, there's a live going on like from a creator that is in a different time zone than I am, and we happen to be cool, you know? So it kind of like lets all of your viewers from wherever they're from have, you know, the chance to see you do what you do.
Cool.
There's also software that splits so that you don't have to choose either Twitch or TikTok. Or you can just have your phone set up and say, hey, on the screen, just put the text, visit twitch.tv/whatever, and just have it propped up, and they can see you working so that it's not loading your computer if that's one of the concerns.
Cool. All right, thanks.
Great idea. Thank you.
I have another one, but I'm gonna let these guys.
Yeah, we'll grab. We probably have time for just a couple more here as we wrap up. So let's grab another one.
Just really quickly, with a big following that you have, are you more cautious with who you duet or who you interact with in that vein on TikTok?
Yes, I would say
Yes.
so.
So on TikTok, if you duet someone, it's just like retweeting someone on Twitter. You are boosting their algorithm. If you have a significant following and you are duetting them to, especially to criticize them in any way, you are gaining them traction. That is something that I have a lot of feelings about on TikTok. A lot of leftist TikTok likes to duet and stitch the conservatives for the lols. But what you're doing is you are pushing them further in the algorithm. And I really would advise people to step back from that. And then, you know, on the other side of that, you could be helping another creator instead. So do that instead. Help someone who has a smaller account by stitching them or duetting them. That's nicer.
I definitely do a quick like, okay, what are they about? Okay, and most of the time, like, yeah, I'm doing it for fun if I'm duetting or something like that. So just a quick like, okay, what are they? Okay, cool. So.
Yeah. I think there's some sort of social responsibility to keep your community safe. So if you're just willy-nilly just duetting things to try to get views, I don't think that's doing a service to what you're doing. So yeah, definitely make sure you're vetting who you're amplifying and seeing if their values align, and because it's a fun collaboration tool for sure. But yeah, it doesn't hurt to just go to their page and check out what else they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'll be able to help with this, but like what speaks to me is like reading books, like children's books to people. And would there be any kind of like trademark infringements or something like that if I was either to read the book really quick or went live reading books or something? Would I get in trouble for that?
I think, well, I don't know about live reading whole books. That might be an issue.
Yeah.
But making TikToks, separate TikToks about book content, showing the books, that should fall under fair use because it's very brief And also take a look through Book Talk, literally the hashtag Book Talk. Book Talk is a huge community, and they're really, for the most part, very, very nice and kind and willing to help each other out. And they have single-handedly caused books that are over 25 years old to sell out like overnight off the shelves.
Wow.
So I would say look into them, like talk to some of the people in that community about it more, and you'll see it, but it's huge.
Yeah, I don't know with kids' books. I do a lot of stuff with fantasy books, adult fantasy books, and you can't read the books on live or anything like that. I assume it would be the same for children's books, but I'm not sure. I would look into that. But yeah, I mean, Book Talk is kicking, so.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be so fun to see kids' books, like children's books.
Well, you
and stuff
were
like that.
talking about calm things, and I was like, well, that's about as calm as it gets.
Honestly, I would love that, but you'd have to be I would just look into to see if that. I'm not really sure with kids' books, but definitely with like adult fantasy books and stuff like that, you cannot. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. We got time for just one more question.
Hello again, Dave. What has worked best for you to inspire your viewers to take action outside of the platforms you post to? So, in other words, drive conversions or sales or traffic, that sort of thing.
Call to actions are very important. Don't feel silly for saying, hey, share this video with somebody that likes it. Be very explicit with follow if you like this type of content. I know, again, it can be very cringy, but y'all know I'm king of cringe. You have to be vocal, you have to remind people, and having that call to action either right at the beginning or at the end, just so you kind of get the point across, is important.
Yeah. TikTok doesn't like it when you leave the app. So I try to encourage people in the actual video and not to put it in my caption. I've found that if I say in the caption, like, click my link, as soon as I do that, TikTok's like, don't show anybody this video. But yeah, like I said, like Danny said, being honest that you want people to go visit your website, your store, find your thing, is always best.
Yeah, tell people what you want. I feel like people don't want to guess. People usually don't guess, and so if you don't say, hey, share this with somebody who likes it, they're not, I mean, they might think about it. But.
Yeah. And there's nothing worse than people who are like, click this to find the answer. It's the like button. Don't do that to me. I
okay,
know. We're smarter than that.
You gotta be technical. Oh my God.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause for our awesome guests, their information, their time, their energy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's, before we close out, tell everybody once again where they can find you and your awesome content.
Yeah, hey y'all, my name is Danny. You can find me all over the internet at Brutal Dan. That's BR00TALDAN, like Leet speak. I'm also the community manager for Roll20. So if y'all want to follow Roll20's TikTok account, you can see some cringy D&D content.
I love that your name is Brutal Dan, but you're like the nicest person.
It's my old gamer tag when I was a little emo kid.
I like it. My name is Harley. You can find me everywhere at Harley Hero. And yeah, I do cosplay. I do TTRPG stuff, stream, all that. So go ahead and check me out on all the apps. I'm on all of them.
And I'm Dylan, or Super Dylan. That's DILLIN, Super Dylan, everywhere on the internet. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, and I make games, and then I also make content about games. So that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Thanks again, everybody. I'm Dot. You can come check me out at the Kobold Press booth all weekend, and we'll be back up here on the stage tomorrow for one more panel, World Building 101. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great con, everybody.